Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Good morning and welcome to Run It Back. We're going to do a show today. You can blame Chandler for the start of it because he's a vile, vile creature, but that is Chandler Parsons. Lou will. Charania, thank God you're getting us kicked off on the show today with some real news because we have real games and the camera will only go to you for the next few seconds. So that being said, we got Lakers tonight, but no LeBron. What's going on?
LeBron James is out tonight against the Warriors coming off the All-Star break. He did play in the All-Star game, but played limited minutes. I'm told there's not concern about this being a long-term issue. He's 39 years old, 21st season. I think the Lakers are expecting that this will be a day-to-day situation that they'll manage. He's dealing with some soreness in his ankle. If the Lakers win tonight, I could see a scenario where LeBron James does sit out tomorrow against the Spurs as well. This is literally something that they're managing day by day. Christian Wood also out tonight. He's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks with knee effusion. Anthony Davis is probable to play tonight, so they're expecting to have at least one of their main All-Stars available to play tonight.
Probable. Interesting. All right, look, there are only 26 games left. They're in the 9th spot right now. You'd think they wouldn't want to or be able to afford many more games without LeBron and or AD, but where are they on this?
Obviously, you need all hands on deck with this team. I thought maybe it was a stomach virus going around LA, why he was missing this game tonight. It's just weird to me when you come off an All-Star weekend, you just played in the game. So, like, what clearly is bothering him? Hopefully it's nothing serious because obviously this is a team where they're built to win now. They're older. LeBron, like Chum just said, he's 39 years old, so you don't want this to linger. You want to take care of it. But this is a huge blow. But when you really look at the picture of the Western Conference, they're 3.5, 4 games back.
I know, it's crazy.
Right in the thick of things. That's realistically 1 to 2 weeks of a season where you can get hot, you can catch momentum. So they're by no chance, dead but they are where they are. They could definitely make a run here. And look, there's 26 games left. This is where kind of things start falling in place, right? This is where the fringe teams kind of either make that push or they really crumble. This is where the top teams kind of fall into order of where they're going to see. They start looking at matchups. So this is a critical part of the season. Everyone's rested. No one's looking forward to the break anymore. You just had your break. Right. Now it's all hands on deck, till that last game, till the playoffs start.
Who steps up?
For the Lakers, I think this is a great opportunity for Dinwiddie to get going. I know his debut didn't go as well as they wanted to, even though the team did just fine. So this is a great opportunity for him to step in. Hachimura had found a groove going into the break, shooting the ball well, averaging 20-plus points in the last 5 games. But I think it comes down to the usual suspects. AD has to play big. Austin Reeves got to give him that punch off the bench, and D'Lo has to man the ship. And so, at this point, with bringing Spencer Dinwiddie in, I think they got enough to get through this game and get over it. But I also like how the Warriors are playing it as well as right now.
Yeah, and I think D'Lo is huge for the Lakers. Obviously, there's no more trade talks, right? The deadline's over. This is their team. He's comfortable. He's safe. He's here. And he's had the 3rd best season of everybody. He's averaging, 17.5 points, 6.5. He's having a better year than Austin Reeves on paper when you look at it. So I think he's critical.
He should.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got that power, that offensively, where he can go and get 40-point games. He can be the closer in the 4th quarter. And they can take turns. It could be Austin some nights. It's going to be AD a lot of nights. Obviously, he's going to be the focal point with LeBron James out. But I'm happy the way D'Lo played with all the rumors and all this stuff swirling around him. There's no way he thought he was going to be there. He's there now. Let's make a push. Let's finish this game, and then whatever happens this summer happens.
And dare I say it, but this team plays completely different when LeBron is out of the lineup. They play faster. They play a little bit more up-tempo. And so against the Golden State Warriors, this might be a style of play that they need for tonight.
Yeah.
If you look at the Western Conference right now, it's kind of crazy to actually see the numbers because there's not a huge discrepancy between 1 and 9. I mean, granted, it's 9 games, but everyone's got 30 at least wins, and you've got the Warriors and Lakers sitting down there at 9 and 10. Are they both in a position to make it into the playoffs?
I don't think both make it. I think one of the two definitely for sure. But when you look at it, you got the Dallas Mavericks and you got the Sacramento Kings who are, considered still top teams in the Western Conference that are very dangerous at any point. I don't see both of them getting knocked out for the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors to have an opportunity to get in.
They'll both make the play-in. I think those those 5 teams there, the Jazz, the Rockets, Grizzlies, they're trying to lose now at this point, right? So I think they're going to have a chance, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I read that wrong.
Are they going to get in the actual playoffs and be a top 8 seed? That's going to be tough. You're going to have to beat, the Kings and Mavs are solid.
There's 8
Mavs
teams in the
streak.
playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, I think they get in there. I think that's safe. I think Utah down. I think they're going to start falling off, and they're going to purposely be resting.
No,
to try to
for the
lose
playoffs, the 8 spots in the playoffs. So that means they one of the 2 got to win the play-in to get in.
And it's tough because I think Sacramento and Dallas are both better than both of them.
So if anything, I say 1.
Yeah.
So maybe 1. Okay.
If anything.
And we left off a lot of winning streaks as the break got here. By the way, it seems like forever ago that we had actual games. In Shams, before that happened, the Warriors had won 6 of their last 7 games. So it looked like things were sort of heading back into a positive direction. What's the mood in Golden State?
The Warriors are confident. I spent some time around multiple people around the Warriors at All-Star Weekend, and there's obviously confidence. They've won 6 of 7. They won 8 of 10 before the All-Star break. They brought in Brandon Podziemski to start over Klay Thompson right before the All-Star break started. And I think that was a shock for everyone around the league. And I'm told that is something that the Warriors are going to continue for the foreseeable future. Brandon Podziemski is someone that the Warriors, Steve Kerr, really love. I mean, the fact that he can play multiple positions, ball handle, leads among the leaders in charges taken as well. So I would expect that trend to continue. But this is a Warriors team that obviously is confident. If they're healthy, they can make noise in the West.
I mean, look, it clearly worked. It woke something up in Klay. The first part is probably the hard part, having to come off the bench at all. Do you like the move, keeping him there?
Well, I like it because it's only happened one time, and he had a hell of a game, right? So I think whatever that was, if that was motivation, if that was him pissed off, if that was him angry, it worked. And I think they're in the situation now where they have to try everything. And kudos to Steve Kerr again for switching up the lineups with Draymond in and out, with guys kind of banged up, while trying to develop the Kumingas and the Podziemskis. They have to do things like this. And again, I think just to salvage this season, you just got to ride it till the wheels fall off. You try and win as many big games as possible, like we talked about. They're going to get in that play-in probably because those 5 bottom teams are not looking so hot, and they're not going to want to finish in that area because they have no chance to contend this year. But once they get into the postseason, they could salvage this season by surviving and advancing. If not, there's a lot of pressure there because now we're literally looking at the end of the dynasty if they don't make some sort of noise this postseason.
I'm not crazy about it. But like Chandler mentioned, you have a 35-point game the first time that you do it. It's hard to fight that. You know, even as a player, when you disagree with the coach, and Steve Kerr's his MO is, well, look what you got out of it. And so I don't really like this with Klay Thompson, but at the end of the day, this is a team sport. Steve Kerr's doing what he thinks best is for the team. They're 1-0 while doing this. It's worked, so you got to stay with it.
It's kind of crazy because depending on, I guess, what happens in the next few games, do they change it back? Do they leave it this way for the last 20 whatever games? It's kind of something to watch. Steph Curry said he's still in the prime of his career. Yes?
It's hard to argue. I'm sure his body doesn't feel like the prime like it did when he was 25, 26 years old. But yeah, he's averaging 28, 5 and 5. He's shooting very efficient from the field. The fact that he's shooting 42, 43% from 3, and the shots he takes from that level of difficulty, and he's still shooting at that clip. It's insane. Like I said, every year that goes, I'm sure it's harder getting out of bed. I'm sure it's hard motivating going to shoot-arounds and practice. But his production on the court is hard to ignore. It's a hell of a year.
Yeah, what is prime? How are we defining the prime window?
So I feel like it used to be to me like an age, like there was an age, but now depending on injuries and minutes and all the whatever you've been through, I think it changes. Like right now, obviously LeBron James is not in his prime. He's 39 years old, but his production is unbelievable.
Right.
His production is like Kawhi Leonard's no longer in his prime, but he's playing very good.
We need a prime light, like a Twilight prime or something.
Yeah, we got
after prime.
Like, is this SGA's prime, or is he going to be that much better like in 3 years? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to, it's impossible to know because he's so good right now.
Yeah, what was the age? It used to be 27?
Like 27, 28, yeah.
So now it's just all over the place. All right, fair enough. They have played, these two teams played earlier in the season. It was a double overtime win for the Lakers. Lou, who wins tonight?
This game is played at the Chase Arena for the Golden State Warriors. They're in a little better groove than the Lakers. I'll give it to the Warriors.
Yeah, no LeBron's. I mean, they're
big
favored by 6 or 7 points tonight. I got to go with the Warriors too. And again, this is time where they can really be mature. They're rested. They're focused. They kind of just hit the reset button, go in there. 25 or so games left. Finish strong. I got the Warriors.
If you're wondering, the games tonight are very good.
They are very good games
the next
tonight. And they're back, by the way.
I mean,
what the hell have we been doing
They
the
are
last 3
good.
days?
I don't really know.
Watching the Bear.
Watching the Bear. Clippers, Thunder, that's another game you get tonight, moving on up the rankings for this one. 2 versus 3. Only a half game separates the two. I know Lou's answer to this, but I'm going to ask anyways in case somebody's joining us for the very first time. Who wins the better record when it's all said and done?
It's going to be the Clippers, right?
You said it. I know.
Yeah, coming out of the All-Star break, you're going to start seeing these veteran teams wake up. The term that's going to be used is attention to detail, and we got to play with some urgency. I think that's what you're going to start hearing these coaches spew out in their press conferences. Those are going to be 2 of the things of emphasis, and I think the Clippers understand what's at stake. Playtime is over. Coming out of the break, they're going to be ready to roll.
Yeah, and depending on health, I mean, this is when rotations shorten. Everyone's role is pretty much locked in. So going forward down this home stretch, this is my job. This is what I have to do. Like you said, attention to detail, what we have to do each night against each opponent just to get the win. And so, I mean, this is a hell of a game again. We got, like you said, we have great games tonight. This is a tale of 2 different teams. This is an experienced team of the Clippers that are all guys kind of on their last leg, that are happy, that are playing very well and experienced.
Last leg.
I'm just saying, like this is an older team against
Arguably
the youngest team in the NBA, who's had the hell of a year, who's got a star in SGA. So it's kind of it's 2 very deep teams, 2 well-coached teams. It's gonna be a hell of a game. I'd love to see them in the postseason.
SGA, Chet, and Jalen Williams. How long before they surpass Kawhi, PG, and Harden? If you're going to say last leg.
Well, see, I saw this. Historically, they have a lot of time left with the resumes those guys have. But currently, what big three is going to be better? I think it could be as early as next year. I think those guys are so good. They're going to continue to grow. I'm talking next year on the court productivity. Career-wise, resume-wise, they got a ways to go. We're talking about Hall of Fame careers that we're going up against this big three. But when you're talking about the production of a regular season, it's hard not to take those 3 next year.
That's what I was going to give you that. I was going to say you can make the case that those 3 guys are better this year, based on the record. But for them to line up to these guys, they're going to need a few rings.
That's what I mean. Resume-wise, it's not even close.
They're going to need a couple MVPs, and they're going to have to make some real.
Even for one game, I'm going with the older guys.
Yeah,
you know
for sure.
I mean? I'm just talking about like a whole season. These guys are on the rise, and the other guys on the Clippers are kind of on the decline. So
it's kind of fun to watch that tonight, though, knowing that this is the present/past and this is the present/future.
Listen, the young guys are already calling them old out loud. So something is missing in the respect
Isn't it
factor
crazy?
that they're openly saying, oh, they just the old guys. If I'm the Clippers, I'm ready to go every time I run into everybody for these last 26 games.
Isn't it crazy that 35 is like ancient?
It is. I mean,
it is.
Yeah.
OG.
It's crazy.
That's kind of funny.
Get called all the old things.
Old.
So you like the Clippers tonight on the road?
I do like the Clippers tonight on the road.
Ooh. So who is the best player on the court tonight in this game?
It's going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh dear.
We got to stay consistent with the things that we say. If we feel like he's an MVP finalist,
he is.
Or he's going to be one of the guys in that conversation, everything aside, he's the best player on the floor right now.
You agree?
I mean, he's been the second best player all season outside of Jokic when you look at it, and now with Joel Embiid out. But
it's crazy to
again,
say out loud,
it's one game. Can he, no doubt Kawhi Leonard can be the best. Paul George can be. There's so much talent.
It could be 5
Yeah, there's so
guys.
much talent in this game. But yeah, I mean, when we're talking about a top 2 MVP favorite right now, it's hard to not pick him.
Back to Shams we go, because the break, there was some stuff going on. PJ Tucker and Bones Highland. What's the latest?
Yeah, right before the break, the Clippers actually sent both players home for their game against the Warriors, and they did not join the team on the road before their last game. And so I'm told both players, PJ Tucker, Bones Highland, reported back to the team for this game in OKC. I think after the trade deadline, there was a lot of frustration for both PJ Tucker and Bones Highland. I would expect both guys to transition back to the team. The NBA also fined PJ Tucker last week $75,000 for a public trade demand. So I would expect both PJ Tucker, Bones Highland to transition back, be modeled teammates. And I do think there could be an entry point for PJ Tucker to be back in the rotation the second half of the season. I'm curious from Lou and Chandler's perspective, What would your advice be to both players going into the
Well,
second half if you guys were teammates?
I'm gonna tell you from experience, Ty Lue is a vibe guy, right? If you come into a Ty Lue practice, the music is blaring, it's guys working out, there's people in the gym, it's a high energy type of environment. And if you come in there and your vibe is off, he's for sure gonna send you home. That's the type of coach, that's the type of coach that he is. And he's also great at communicating. Listen, the vibe off, I know you feeling how you feeling, we feel how we feel, go home for a while, we'll talk about it in a few days and we'll get back on the same page. That's the type of person that Ty Lue is. And so I wouldn't read much into these guys being out and now coming back, but you know, PJ Tucker's 38 years old.
He's old.
Well,
He's 38. He's owed $12 million next year. He has an opportunity to take his money and chill. Instead, he still wants to compete. Give him credit for that. Bones Highland, completely different situation. He's a young guy. I wish somebody would have told him, listen, this is not a great look for you. You still got a lot of basketball ahead of you. You should be in the gym every single time that the Clippers are in the gym. You're part of the team, even though it's not going your way. And so that's my opinion with that. But knowing Ty Lue, sending him home, this is not as a big deal as it sounds.
That's what I was going to say. Like Bones Highland, you already got shipped out of Denver for whatever that reason is, and now you're going home again on the Clippers and both contending teams and winning cultures and situations. You're young, dude. You got a lot of basketball to play left. This should not be what we're talking about when it comes to a game. We should talk about how much of a bucket you are, how good you can score the ball off the bench, how you came in and saved the game in the fourth quarter. For some reason, we're always talking about Bones Highland in a negative light, whether that's a personality trait, a locker room issue, whatever. But like Lou said, PJ Tucker's 38. He's not going to be around much longer. He's guaranteed 11, 12 million next year. Bones, figure it out, man, because you're way too talented to be talked about being sent home at this age and this many times.
I would love to know behind the scenes sort of how, I mean, they're both individual, as you guys are mentioning, cases, but how it's being dealt with or how Bones Highland's dealing with it or sort of how you have to psych yourself back into a good attitude.
Like I said, I don't think it's a big deal because I've been a part of this organization. I know how these things work. I think I've been sent home before just because my vibe is off. But when you're such a young player like a Bones, we don't want to see your name in the news for the wrong reasons, especially when you don't have control of the narrative. You don't have control. You don't have the platform to explain yourself and why things are going the way that they're going. And so we just, as people in the media, we have to just report on whatever it is that we see and give our opinions on it. So with that said, don't give us anything to talk about.
And I got sent home in Memphis, and that was but it was a different situation. Like PJ Tucker almost, but I was on a tanking team. I was on a rebuilding team. I was on a max contract, and I was hurt, and I wasn't playing. So they basically gave me an option: do you want to go to the G League or do you want to go home? And I was like,
oh yeah.
I'm going home. And so that was like a mutual decision that my agent, the front office, everyone agreed on. It wasn't on bad terms. It was just like I wasn't going to play. I wasn't thrilled. I wasn't stoked. I couldn't fake it. Like PJ Tucker clearly is unhappy. Sometimes it's better just to get away. But at this point, when you're on a good team and you're on a contending team, arguably the favorite in the West, I'd rather be there on the bench supporting my guys possibly getting a ring. I was in Memphis. We were rebuilding. They traded Mike Conley. They got rid of Marc Gasol. It was a dumpster.
Yeah.
It was a yard sale. This is different. They're both in a great situation for a team. Maybe not individually, but ride it out. Don't do anything that's going to affect your offseason. It's going to affect your free agency. Don't let teams see this negative light on you because then they're not going to trade for you because they think you're the issue.
Right.
And like we said, you did your thing, how you stepped away from the team, but you weren't in control of the narrative. The team could have threw you under the bus and they could have said whatever they wanted to say about Chandler, and he wouldn't have had any platform to explain himself. And so if you're a young guy in the league, hey, listen, put your tough face on, go in there, get your work in, man, and just be a great teammate. Because I've been to Clipper games and during games that he hasn't played. He's been a great teammate to his guys. You know, he's the first one up off the bench, slapping hands, supporting guys. And so you want that to be what people notice from you and remember when other teams come calling for you.
Even if it's not real. Fake it till you make it. You're too young, Bones.
Too young. This is the time to fake it. All right, so the Thunder won the first game. Clippers won the second game. Clippers are the underdog for this one. What has to happen for them to win it? Don't say score more points and something else.
Yeah, they gotta score more points. Their total score has to be higher than that.
Thank you.
I honestly, it's a tough matchup, really. I think it's going to be a great series. The Clippers play very ISO dominant. If they're effective, if Kawhi Leonard's getting to his spots, if they're getting to the foul line, they're a very tough team to beat. If Zoo's hitting the offensive glass, I think he can really impose his will on a smaller Chet. That being said, I like the Thunder. I think the Thunder are going to be fresh, young. I think the Clippers, older guys, they took their private jets somewhere after the All-Star weekend, and I think the Thunder get it done at home tonight.
This is not a very technical game to me. I like you said, when you have a veteran team and you come in after the All-Star break, everybody know what they did during that break. I'm pretty sure they had a really spirited practice yesterday. They're ready to go today. So I like the Clippers.
Good game to watch, that one. We also get Suns-Mavs. Such a good return for the NBA tonight. Mavs have made a lot of moves in the last year. Is this, I don't know, is this the best team that Luka's had around him so far?
We'll tell. We'll eventually find out, and we'll see. But I love the moves that they made. I love P.J. Washington. He gives them that versatility where he can be that, pick and pop 4. He can play a wing. He can switch 1 through 5. Daniel Gafford, like I said yesterday, he gives them another lob threat, another rim runner. So I do think this helps. And not to mention, he's got Kyrie Irving, who can relieve pressure of him, who can go get buckets, who can kind of share the basketball and not have to have his usage rate. That's a crazy dunk.
That is a crazy dunk.
Not have his usage rate so high. This is Luka's team. This is Luka's the guy. But it is nice to have a Tim Hardaway Jr. there. It's having a great year from 3. It is nice to have guys like Jaden Hardy and Kyrie Irving that can go and create their own shots. He hasn't had that very often. So I do think this is a chance to be their good team. And this is a team that's going to be dangerous in the playoffs.
Lou, so we get Booker and Luka again. Just a reminder of what happened the first couple times. Luka had 50 and 15 in the first game. Booker had 46 and Luka had 34, 8, and 9 in the second.
Not a lot of defense.
No. But that's all right. It's fun to watch. What do you expect tonight?
It's going to be a good matchup. I think it's going to be a good game coming straight out of the break. I think we're going to see a lot of good basketball across the board from guys just ready to go in that second part of the season. And so I think they have another couple big games, but I'm curious to see what Kyrie is doing and KD as well.
All right, so we have the Suns in the 5th spot, the Mavs in the 7th spot, but only a game that separates the two. Let's fast forward. When it's all said and done, who's got the better record?
Phoenix Suns. I think they're the most dangerous. I think they're the most dangerous offensive team in the entire NBA. When they click and when they're healthy, and they add guys like Royce O'Neal that can do all the little things, and Josh Okogie who plays defense, I think they have a chance to really, really make some noise. So when you look at the landscape, there's some really good teams with Denver, with the Clippers, with these surprise teams like Minnesota and OKC. The Suns are scary.
Yeah, that's how we started.
Picture having to guard those 3 guys 7 times. It's tough. That is the firepower that teams aren't used to scouting for. You can't scout for them. You can't take away everything with the way they play.
And of course, the variable has been Bradley Beal because sort of in and out. Shams, what is the latest on Bradley Beal?
Yeah, keeping him healthy, Kevin Durant healthy, Devin Booker, that's obviously the key for the Phoenix Suns. If those guys are healthy, they're going to have a chance in the Western Conference playoffs. Bradley Beal had surgery on a broken nose over the All-Star break, so that's accounted for, that's dealt with. But he also tweaked his hamstring right before the break. He's listed questionable tonight. They're going to be cautious with it. He could play tonight. I don't see this as a long-term issue for Brad Beal, but this is the second time that he's tweaked that hamstring this season. We know he's dealt with multiple issues, ankle, the back. So this is now the 3rd different body part that Bradley Beal has dealt with this season that has kept him out a period of time. So hopefully for him and the Suns, this is nothing significant.
He's the one to keep your eye on. So look, they've split the 2 games they played so far. Who wins tonight, Lou?
Well, neither team has won at home yet, and this game is played in Dallas, so I'll take Phoenix.
All right, we're keeping the trend.
Give me Dallas. I like
look
Dallas.
at you.
You know what? I'm coming off All-Star break too.
Say whatever.
Yeah, I like
Yes.
that. I like having different picks today. But I will say, I think there'll be some fatigue early. You haven't emulated a real game in over a week. The All-Star game definitely wasn't that.
It was
So
not.
I think guys will be tired early on, but I think the home court advantage in Dallas, I think gets it done. Is that 3 picks, 3 different answers for us?
Yeah,
by the
you
way?
guys.
Let's dance,
keep
Lou.
going.
Let's dance.
Expect the text thread to light up with results. Shams, we're going to go big picture for a second because, yes, we are heading into some games finally again. What are people looking at, talking about, waiting for as we head into this final stretch?
To me, it's the parity around the league. You look at the Eastern Conference. You got Boston, Cleveland, Milwaukee, New York, Philadelphia, Miami. In the West, you have Minnesota, OKC, Clippers, Nuggets, Suns, Mavs, Lakers, Warriors. I think that's 14 teams. All those teams are going to go into the playoffs feeling like they have a chance and they have an ability to get to either the conference finals or the NBA finals. Teams like the Kings, Pelicans probably on the outer skirts of that, but it's the parity in the league to me going into the playoffs where all these teams feel like they have a chance to potentially win the championship. Cleveland is trying to advance further than just the first round. The Knicks are trying to get to the conference finals. And then out west, I think it's going to be an absolute bloodbath just based on the standings that we've seen so far.
It's gonna fly too, which is my favorite part of the season as we head into this. Okay, guys, player under the most pressure in the final stretch. Lou, you're first.
Steph Curry.
Okay.
Steph Curry is under the most pressure. He has to get this team into the.
Though?
He got to get them in the playoffs.
I mean, good Lord, that's
He got to get them in the playoffs. Everybody else has been doing that thing. He's right there on the bubble. He has to get them over that edge. It's gonna fall on his shoulders. He says he's still in his prime. I agree.
I'd say that.
Chandler agree. Now you got to get them in a position to be one of the top 8 teams to get into the playoffs.
Is yours the same?
Now, call me crazy. I think it's Jason Tatum. I think they have the best team in the
He
NBA.
also said he's the best player.
Everyone, he's saying he's the best player
Yeah.
in the NBA. There's the best team in the NBA. If you look at the Eastern,
He's the number 1 team.
But if you look at the Eastern Conference, there's now pressure to perform. There's pressure to win. There's pressure to get a championship. You want to be a superstar, MVP. Draymond said, I think we're mentioning it later, you got to win a championship. You got to and everyone's saying this is the year. They've had great teams in the past. His team's the favorite. And the East is all over the place. If you told them before the season that they have to go through Cleveland to get out of the East, or Milwaukee's banged up with the coaching change, Joel Embiid's out, like the East is theirs for the taking. So I think there is pressure on Jason Tatum to kind of carry that and get them to the finals.
That's a great point. But if he loses, there's not going to be an outrage of criticism for Jason Tatum if they fall short.
You don't think so?
I don't think there'll be.
I don't.
I mean, but there won't be for Steph either. You know what I mean? Like Steph, he's done everything he could. I think if the Warriors don't advance, I think Clay leaves. I think Clay leaves. I think that Steve Kerr might leave. But I don't think if anything's not falling on, it's not falling on Steph Curry.
All right. So, but he's going to be the guy that has to do it, right? So if he doesn't do it, Steve Kerr can possibly lose his job. He's going to lose one of his Splash Brothers. If Jason Tatum loses, we'll see next year.
But what's crazy is he has been doing it, and it's still not enough. You know what I mean? Tatum's got to be. Tatum is in his prime. We were just talking about prime.
Yes, yep.
He's in his real prime with the best team in the NBA.
To your point, he put that pressure on himself.
He did.
And I respect it.
So, okay, then does that mean for you that the Celtics are the team under the most pressure? Or is that something else?
You know what's funny? I think it's the Warriors.
What is going on?
I think it's the Warriors. I think as a team, we're talking about the end of a dynasty, right? It's not Steph Curry. It's not going to fall on Steph Curry. But I think as a team, we're talking about Klay Thompson, dead ass, might leave. They might lose their coach. So yes, a lot of that does fall on Steph Curry, but he's going to do his part. But as a team, if they don't make the play-in, or if they get pounded if they get pounded in the first round, there's going to be some real changes here. Then we're talking about rebuilding. Let's go through Kuminga.
If you say Celtics, Lou, who is your team under the most pressure?
It's going to be the Boston Celtics. No, I'm joking. It's going to be Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the Milwaukee Bucks, time's ticking. Now that you guys have opened that flood door for criticism, for people to have opinions about how your season is going, it's going to be on the Milwaukee Bucks as a whole.
Guess who my coach is?
Oh, no, here we
Guess who
go.
my coach is?
You guys have the same coach.
My coach with the most pressure is Doc Rivers. I
Okay.
agree with Lou on that. This is a guy who they made a change. He's publicly said, I don't know why they're doing this.
He really did.
Griffin had a solid record when he was there. And this can go one of two ways. He can figure it out, he can make adjustments, and he can really make a run and look like a hero. Or he can be back working for ESPN again next year in the booth. It's going to go one of two ways, and a lot of that pressure is going to fall on him.
I had 2 coaches written down. He took one, and I'm going to say Chris Finch.
Really?
He's been sitting at number 1 all year. These teams are coming. You guys are hunted. And so now that you're the hunted and everybody wants your spot, you're going to have to do an incredible job of weathering that storm.
See, I hate that I disagree with you so much. I think they could. I think
the same thing about Jason Tatum.
I think
as a
they could
player.
get swept in the first season. I think his job is safe in the first round. I think his job is safe. I think there's no pressure to win.
Because
I think
it's
they
just
build on
what,
this
talent
season.
catching up?
I don't think anything happened. I don't think anything's happened. I mean pressure in the fact of we're talking about wins and losses and competing and getting over the hump. My pressure is coming from a place of you've been the number 1 all year. And if you lose that 70 games in, this is going to be a coaching thing.
Yeah, but they're number 1 on the season, but I don't think there's expectation.
said the
I'm
same
saying,
thing
but
about Jason
do we actually
Tatum.
think they're going to win a championship this year? Do you think the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win the championship?
No.
No.
No, it's too long a pause.
No way.
No.
They're not going to.
No chance.
So I don't find that
I'm
to be.
going to leave him be by himself
He's
on
just
that.
on an island of saying,
You think the
hell no.
Timberwolves win a championship this year?
They have a chance just like anybody else. There's 9
No.
teams in the Western Conference with 30-plus wins.
Did you just say they have just as much a chance as anyone
There's
else?
9 teams in the Western Conference with 30-plus wins.
Do you think any one of those 9 teams could win the championship, really? In your heart of hearts?
I think it's about 7 of them.
7.
I think it's the Clippers, Nuggets, and Suns. I think those are the only 3 teams that can win the championship. I think the Thunder are very good. They're young. I think the Timberwolves have surprised everybody. They're very, very good. They're on the right path. Lakers, Warriors, the fact that they think they're going to win a championship is nuts.
So the 1 and 2 seeds right now, we're just throwing them in the wind.
It does feel like we've been doing that
It's
all
weird,
season,
yeah.
honestly.
It's weird. You like right now in a series, Clippers or Timberwolves. You're taking the Timberwolves, even though they're number 1 seed. No chance in
No,
hell
he's
you're
not.
taking them.
No, I'm not. But I said they have a chance.
Okay, well, that's just optimistic, and I don't like it. We're going to take a quick break. Shams, thank you for entertaining us through their debate right here. We appreciate you. We will see you tomorrow.
I was just entertained.
I know, right? I'm just sitting here, like,
I wish
listening.
I was in the studio to be entertained.
Yeah, we do miss you, buddy. We'll hopefully see you soon. But thank you. We'll see you in the morning. Coming up, another edition of You Buying That? Get a little MJ, a little AI in this one. Whee!
Is that you?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You look so happy, bud. If you thought today was going to be a day without more Bucks quotes, you were silly. Lou, Giannis says he's Dame's biggest fan, saying, I ride with Dame until the effing end. Are you buying that? They're talking so much.
I'm buying it, I guess. You know?
Seems like it.
Feels like, he's saying the right thing for a teammate. I know we were giving Dame some crap about not putting him in his 5, but hey, that was Dame's 5. And Giannis said he's riding into the end. 2 guys can have different opinions about each other. That's fine, so I'm buying it.
I'm not buying it. I think he's just saying this because he's trying to make it comfortable. You know what I mean? He's trying to be the bigger man. I think it's.
But I don't know when he said it, so I'm just.
It's recent.
I think
like yesterday.
It's a result. It was in response.
It's basically him responding to like Dame saying that he's not in a starting 5.
That's
so
different.
I think
different.
he's just saying it being the bigger man, being mature, which is a great
it's weird.
leadership thing. And congrats on the championship in 2021, Milwaukee.
The same guy that just discovered the bear. You're so on it today. Chandler, Dame, still with it, defended Giannis's brother, Giannis, against internet trolls saying they wouldn't be able to beat him in a game of one-on-one. What? What's happening? So he could beat every Twitter troll. That's the question.
Probably 11-0. And I hate when Twitter trolls, I hate when pedestrians and normal civilians that sit there in their mom's basement and they tweet mean, offensive things at professional athletes that are far more talented and successful than you. Whoever you think is the worst player in the NBA, Thanasis, if it's, Killian Hayes,
we're killing his name today.
Killian Hayes, who people shit on, say he's awful, who started NBA games, they would go to your local LA Fitness.
God, I would love this.
Your local Planet Fit, whatever the gyms are called these days, and they would bust
showing your privilege, man.
and they,
Whatever the gym.
Your privilege is peaking. Chill.
my point is, they would all bust your ass. You think I was soft or stuck
happen.
to basketball? I would destroy you. Any NBA player that makes millions of dollars playing basketball would dominate you. Stop.
No, I shortened his name to Thanos, and you made it
I thought
something
this-
else. Thanasis.
I'm gonna stay out of it.
Why? Because you don't think he could?
I like the Nassus.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But,
Cool dude.
but,
Well, he is a cool dude.
So you think someone right now at 24-hour fitness will give him buckets?
I said I like.
Yeah, but I see where you're going.
I didn't say anything about basketball.
You're just trying to debate with me today, and it's gross.
Both of y'all got it out for me. Y'all trying to get a quotable out.
No,
you're
you,
the
I
one that
know.
goes,
You just said it.
I said I like him. What
But could he
what
beat every Twitter troll?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
why'd you just text me that he's not very good, though?
Okay, Lou. Cam Thomas said he thought it was a prank. Oh, this is never a good start. When Sean Marks called to inform him about Jacques Vaughn being fired. Why would that be a prank? Are you buying that he was upset to see him go?
Yeah, I'm buying it. I mean, he's a young guy in the league. He doesn't really know much. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to coaching and coaching changes, I could be speaking out of turn. Maybe this is the only coach he's had in his career. I don't know if he was around for Steve Nash before this. This may be the only coach he's had. This is his first time going through a coaching change. So I'm buying that he probably was legit a little thrown off and upset.
As much as it pains me to agree with him, I agree. I think Cam Thomas, I think he has no idea. I think guys these
that's
days.
just not a prank, though, is it?
Guys these days
He
find
wanted to
out.
disagree with me
I know.
so bad.
He did.
I'm racking my brain. But guys find out they get traded via Twitter. I don't. So,
Also
you know what I
true.
mean? Like that's people. Their agents don't know. Guys just pull the trigger, and you're finding out on social media. So I
But it would just be a weird call from a GM to be like, ha ha ha, we fired the coach, just kidding.
It could be worse. You could get off the phone with your GM and tell him, and he can tell you you're good. Take your nap, get ready for the game, and you get traded 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
Well, that's cutthroat. That's actually kind of mean. Chandler.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, that's not. I don't like that. Jalen Brunson said he twice told the Mavs he would sign the 4-year, $55 million extension, and both times they declined. Are you buying that they declined to offer that deal? Yeah.
I am. I know they did. I know that this is a real story, and that's why I thought it was weird yesterday how this went viral. I'm like, wasn't this?
I know. I thought we knew this.
Wasn't this public knowledge? But when we were talking about the Mavs earlier, we were talking about how this is the best team ever, and and now that he finally has Kyrie Irving. He had Jalen Brunson. He had Jalen Brunson at a bargain, by the way. That would be the best bargain of a contract in the NBA. Maybe in the history of the NBA, the way Jalen Brunson's playing. We're talking about MVP candidate Jalen Brunson, a 4 years, $55 million deal.
Amazing.
So, yeah, this Mark is my guy. I love him, but he smoked it on this one.
But can we make the argument, and I've been making this argument, that had Jalen Brunson stayed in Dallas, we wouldn't necessarily get to see this Jalen Brunson?
You can argue that for sure, and you can see even when the playoffs, when he was in Dallas and Luka went out, and the stretch, he was a killer. He averaged over 20 points. He was dominating the ball. He was doing what he was doing in New York, just in a smaller sample size for like a month. So yeah, I think it would have maybe stunted his growth playing with a ball-dominant guy like Luka. But man, those two guys together, the way they play, it would have been troubling defensively. But the fact you could have locked this guy up for that contract it's a miss.
He's in a better place.
He's in a great place.
You get to be the
I don't know if it's better.
No, it's better. It's better. Lou, Allen Iverson said he would average 43 in today's
What
NBA.
a random number.
Woo-hoo.
You think he just threw a number out there, or you think he actually thought about
I think
it?
it
Like
was
free
something
throws,
to do with 33 points, then adding 10 points on for. I think so. I'm not buying this because the era of load management and injuries, the teams wouldn't allow him to play as many games with the things that he played with. I'm not buying it.
Okay, not buying it. That's fair. I can't argue with that. Chandler, Richard Jefferson
I love when you make mistakes.
said that he would beat a 61-year-old Michael Jordan in one-on-one right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
hope.
And by the way, they should put this type of stuff in the All-Star Weekend because that would be entertaining. Like when
watch that.
Charles raced Dick Pavetta.
Dick Pavetta, yeah.
Jordan
Dick Pavetta.
isn't getting off.
No,
this
I know, not Michael Jordan.
20
But I'm saying, I'd be way more.
Yeah, the
I'd be
Daytona
way more
500.
interested in this than Buddy Hield throwing a chest pass through a circle. You know what I
We
mean?
can agree there.
So I think Richard Jefferson can beat him one-on-one right now. The guy's 61 years old.
Who are there some, I don't want to say older of that generation that you think would be willing to come and do something like that?
There's a couple guys.
Because I would watch this.
Michael Jordan, not one of them.
No, he's
the
not
one
one.
No, not the
billionaire out of
billionaire.
everybody. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Everyone but Michael Jordan.
pretty much everybody besides Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan
Okay.
who are not billionaires would probably be interested.
Oh, it would be such a good event. All right. Lou, Draymond Green said he does not think that Jason Tatum's going to win an MVP until he wins that title because he's being punished for having so much success as a team early on in his career. Are you buying that?
No, I'm not buying that. I mean, Russell Westbrook didn't have to win one.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant didn't have to win one. So no, I'm not buying that. If he just has an outstanding year and it's undeniable, I think he can still get an MVP without the title. Now the title helps.
Yeah.
Dramatically it helps, but I don't think him winning the title is hedged on him winning the MVP. So I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I'm not buying it, but I do agree to a point like if he does happen to win a championship this year, I do think for whatever reason that is, helps his odds going into next year as the returning champ and the MVP. Like almost kind of puts him as the favorite starting next year if they win it all.
Like it's
this
a
year.
weird obstacle that he's.
Like if you look at if the Celtics win it this year, the preseason favorites to win MVP next year will be Jason Tatum.
Okay.
So I agree on
buy
that point.
All right, Chandler, we don't usually talk stuff when we talk about clutch points, but here we are. He is leading the league in clutch points. He's got 165 of them over 33 games. Wow, you buying Steph as the most clutch?
It's him or Dame, right? It's hard to argue the most. If I just know if I'm a coach or if I'm a player and there's a shot with the game on the line, I would love Steph Curry taking a shot. It's hard to argue the greatest shooter is not who you want to have the ball in his hands at the end of the game. So Dame has obviously had some, magical buzzer beaters, but Steph has done it too, and you're right. When I think clutch player, my head immediately goes to Dame Lillard, not Steph Curry, which is weird. But
It is weird. Then you watch that.
yeah,
Unfortunately, being a clutch player is kind of a tricky thing to be because that means there's a lot of close games.
Yeah.
I hate to see that.
yeah.
But this year with this Warriors team, the fact that there are that
He's
many,
had to be
I
clutch.
guess that's a good thing. Lakers have gone 6-1 in February, Lou, and they're shooting 40% from three. You buying that this team now can shoot threes?
But I mean, listen, the numbers say yeah, right? So I guess I'm buying it.
That's a funny question.
I would like to see what they look like going into March and what's that? April after March? I
There
don't
you
know.
go. There you go.
Thank you. I'm bad with dates, but all right, I'm buying.
Buying it?
I mean, look, they got like Prince can make threes, Reeves can make threes, D'Lo can make threes.
So if he's gonna continue to shoot the way he's been shooting, then yes.
Then yes, they can. All right, quick break. Next up, that man has a family, and it's a good one because it's all the best dunks so far this season. When Run It Back.
That's fun.
That is fun.
Run it up, the running back, yeah. Run it up, run it back.
Ooh, that man has a family and the best dunks of the first half. I keep saying first half. It's, you know.
Oh,
That's my dog. Yeah, JJ.
And like a
great kid.
walk around
Great
here.
kid. And Nate McMillan wouldn't even talk to him, man.
Gosh.
Come on, Nate. You see this kid?
He's staring him down, too.
Great kid.
Yeah, this kid's bouncy. He's had a bunch too, not just this one.
Get up, JJ.
My-
Oh, my God. Good morning, Malik.
Oh, heavens.
Okay, I like that one.
That was
So
the
far, that
favorite.
one's winning.
Yep, that's the winner so
Okay.
far. I mean, he cocked that thing back.
yeah, it's like all the way. First of all, that hurts my arm. Just
Everybody did what they were supposed to do.
That's a crazy cock back.
Shandu. Oh, no, Zachy.
Oh, I mean, that was nasty too. The right foot in front of the left foot
He
here.
has some moments.
He's good.
Yeah, he's got.
He's good at
I'm just-
basketball.
Is he the
I'm
best player on
bummed.
that team?
The best?
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw him play
Yeah,
the
he
Knicks,
is.
he was not
he
the
is.
best player on the
He is.
There you
He's
go.
better than
Play
Jalen
with
Green.
your chest,
He's better than
Chandler.
Fred Van Vliet.
Dylan Brooks.
By the way, you know it's Van Vliet, by
Hey.
the way. It's not Fleet.
Yeah,
It's
we know
Vliet.
that. What?
Only you're late.
Oh, you're the only one.
Only one
moving
late.
on.
Anyway.
Oh, not on Tosan.
Yeah. Tosa.
Tosan. Come on. Lou, say his last name right now. Go.
Eve Wathman.
Perfect.
That's fair.
Jalen Green. These okay.
God.
Jalen
Oh,
Green for
Jalen
my
Green
money.
hurt.
Yeah, he also traveled, but he's got fun bounce.
Yeah, when he shoots, I get kind of irritated. When he does this, all day I love it.
Yeah.
He's so pissed.
Some of those shots he takes are not beautiful.
Get to the rim.
Good.
Get to the rim and jump over
Oh, how's
everybody.
Shingun
There he is.
now?
There's the slam dunk contest next year.
Oh, is Shingun great
bunch
in
of
this
these.
one? Tell me about it.
Look how much higher Wimby is than him.
I mean, he started out that much
He
higher.
only
They
had a
added-
chance catching him on the way down here.
He literally,
I like how he quick dunked him too. That was
literally
smart.
almost missed the dunk because he's too high.
He's
Hey,
too
look at-
high.
like,
That
so
is
classy
something
too.
else.
Doesn't even look at him. Doesn't talk shit. Just
I am French and you're not.
yeah, business as usual. Bonjour.
Kevin Durant, let me see what you got.
Hey, a blast on the pass.
Old man.
We love to see it. Represent for the old head.
I like it.
KD. Time flies. We call it KD an old head.
I mean, I'm not.
Washington, you said no. You know what? We're gonna trade Daniel Gafford after this. Get on out to Dallas,
Shaden Sharp. Oh, this is going to be a.
Dunk contest
Tall
next
tree.
year, Shade.
please, 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 please.
I mean, he's a foot shorter than
Look at Walker Kessler
Kessler.
just run away afterwards too. Like, oh, yep, you got me. Look at him.
Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, we got to see this kid in the dunk contest.
I agree.
I still respect his move canceling last year after not making the rookie sophomore game.
I mean,
I love that move, the pettiness.
dunk finalist.
The dunk.
Jalen Brown.
Oh, you can't
Second
fall.
place dunk
You
contest.
can't fall afterwards,
Sure you
Rudy. Congrats on the kid,
JB.
though. Rudy Gobert's having a kid.
Oh, good. Congrats on the sex, I guess. I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm supposed to say there. He had it or he's having one?
Having.
Guys.
Sounds happy.
The dunks.
Good dunks. Is this something? New segment. Here we go. I'm going to give you guys a stat, and you got to tell me.
Something.
All right, here we go.
Something. Lou, you're up first. Celtics ranked 26th in the NBA in points in the paint. First in the number of points they get from
Paint.
three. Is this something come playoff time?
No, it's not. This is part of their identity. You know, they don't. Jalen Brown is the one guy on that team that I think attacks the paint. Other than that, this is a three-point shooting team. They're living and die by the three. So nothing to be concerned
So
about.
nothing on that one. Okay, Chandler. Cavs, 36-17 so far this season. Second in the East. They're 13-15, however, against teams above 500. And if you're below 500, they're 23-2. Is it something?
I think it is something because they basically, it is what it is. They beat up on the bad teams. They beat up on Detroit, Washington, Charlotte, Toronto, Brooklyn. Those are a lot of easy wins in the Eastern Conference. Unfortunately, you don't have to go through those teams in the playoffs. So when you're the 2 seed, there's expectations to beat good teams. Can they beat Milwaukee? Can they beat Boston? I don't know, but when their record's below 500 on winning teams, it's not a good sign.
That is worrisome.
It's worrisome.
with 20-something games left in the season.
So
We'll
it
see
is
what happens.
something.
It is something. Lou, since January 1st,
Don't do this.
Damian Lillard is shooting 29% from three. He's 5th worst out of the 84 players with at least 100 attempts from three. Is this something?
If we needed a three-pointer, Dame Lillard is going to be top 2 guys that I call for this shot.
So is it something or not, Lou?
So then
This
it's
is
not.
nothing.
So it's nothing.
I don't
Okay.
care. He can shoot 10% from the field. I need a 3. I'm calling Dame Lillard.
Especially after the weekend he just had in Indianapolis, too.
Fair also.
Let it rip.
Well, that is an interesting stat then for all of those things you guys just said. But you're right. I guess it would be nothing.
We're basketball players. We hate numbers.
Oh, you guys should do one of those TikToks. We're basketball players. We hate them. Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
Chandler, the Clippers are first in the NBA in isolation possessions, last in passes per game. Come playoff time, is this
No, I don't
something?
think it's something just like the Celtics shoot a lot of threes. This is how the Clippers score. Kawhi Leonard is not a facilitator, move the ball, go get a bucket. He's an ISO off the block. James Harden is a lull you to sleep ISO. Paul George, ISO. Norman Powell, ISO. So all their guys that score points are isolation players. So is it dangerous? Is it risky? Yeah, because you'd love to see as a coach ball movement, the flow of an offense, transition. But this team is so talented and so good where they're going to live and die on isolations.
I'm so excited to see what
agree.
they do.
Finally.
I wish we could fast
Finally.
forward to the playoffs. Lou, the Thunder are the 3rd worst rebounding team this season. Something? I'm having a hard time today.
I like to know how many turnovers they force, because maybe some of these stats can kind of be misleading.
Sure.
If you're forcing turnovers, you don't really have to rebound the ball that much.
I think this is something because I think their center is Chet Holmgren, and he's not a center. He's a power forward, forced to play that with his frail body. They don't have a lot of size. They just added somebody. Was on like Biombo, maybe? Yeah, they got some size.
Yeah, they
but
did.
It's an issue because they're really, really thin, up front.
Who the heck did? Oh no, it was Gordon Hayward I was thinking of, but that's not it. That's not who you're talking about. All right, quick break time. When we come back, we will wrap things up.
You think it's possible they sign 2 people?
Or they will.
I'm sure, but if it was worth mentioning, we would remember it.
Yeah, I feel like we would have known.
Boy, we're talking rebounding. Conrad, what fucking team?
Run it up, run it back.
Get in on all NBA buzzer beater, ankle breakers, and tomahawk jams with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. The app is easy to use. There are so many different ways to bet, like live same-game parlays, find bets in the new Explore tab, make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays and more. So download the app and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official partner of the NBA.
Woo! Moody's College. Straight out of high school to the league. All right, Lou, I got a question for you. Allen Iverson recently said that Kyrie Irving is the greatest ball handler of all time.
Ever?
Do you agree?
Man, that's a
We were just talking about it.
I'm Allen Iverson,
Right.
Kyrie, Pete Maravich.
Don't you pistol Pete me. You can go Rod Strickland, you go a little Tim Hardaway.
Tim Hardaway, right?
By the way, Steph Curry has handles.
Steph Curry. I don't know. If you know AI like I know AI, he's always showing homage to the next person, but I think he's one of the greatest ball handlers of all time.
It's different too. Like when you watch him, it's just like it's poetry in motion. It's so nice the way he handles the ball, the way he finishes. It's just the whole package.
I think Kyrie is one of the greatest finishers of all time. Now, ball handlers, he's top 5, but finishers, elite.
All right, these guys are back tomorrow. I will be in
Chandler's taking a
Aspen
break.
skiing.
See you
Tune in to Run It Back.
Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, and run it back.